Real Madrid's All-Stars are back in training, this time under Xabi Alonso. The notable players that returned to training this week were Kylian Mbappe, Tchouaméni, Jude Bellingham, and the two new signings. We know that the team will be traveling to Florida to prepare for the first Club World Cup match against Al Hilal on June 18th. Should see Vinicius Jr. and Arda Güler join the team once they travel to Florida later this weekend. Injury that Real Madrid has going into the Club World Cup is Eduardo Camavinga and Ferland Mendy. Mendy is confirmed to miss the group stages of the Club World Cup, so we will be relying on Fran Garcia on that left-hand side since the transfer for Alvaro Carreras did not go through in time. At this moment, there's no update on Eduardo Camavinga's injury, but the good news is that he'll likely be back by the time the group stages conclude, along with Ferland Mendy. Another important note to mention is that Real Madrid has officially announced the signing of Franco Mastantuono. Unfortunately, he will not be joining the Real Madrid for the Club World Cup, but the good news is that he will still play in this competition. The good news is that Franco Mastantuono will play the Club World Cup with River Plate. They kick off their tournament on Tuesday, June 17th against Urua Reds. Then they play the Mexican club in Monterrey, and they finish their group stage playing the Champions League finalist in Inter Milan. This is a great group stage for a player like Franco and a club like River Plate. We'll be able to see how Franco can execute against teams at a top level, starting from a lower level and slowly increasing against the top level teams. Now, one news that I did want to highlight is the return of David Alaba, Antonio Rudiger, and Éder Militão for this Real Madrid squad. Éder Militão and David Alaba were out for the majority of last season. We know that Antonio Rudiger played through an injury for pretty much the whole season. He finished the season after the Copa del Rey match against Barcelona. We saw him in extra time. He was unable to run due to pain in his knee. Ultimately, he decided to go for the surgery. He missed the international matches with Germany, and he is now fully fit and will play the Club World Cup with Real Madrid. Let's see if he can maintain the level that he had for the previous two seasons. Now, two players that I did want to highlight specifically, Éder Militão and David Alaba. They will be returning and they seem to be fully fit. Now, we know David Alaba was out for over a year with his ACL injury. He did come back, played a few matches that we eased him into, and unfortunately, he had another injury that ended his season a little bit early. Now, I'm very curious what level he's going to return to. Prior to his ACL injury, we noticed a significant dip in David Alaba's performance, and I'm pretty sure it's due to his age. Now, after an ACL injury at that age, it's going to be very important to see what level he can come back to and if he will be an important figure in this club. Let's keep in mind he is one of the highest salaries that the club currently has. Éder Militão, we know the Brazilian center back has the potential to be a top level center back. We saw that before his injuries, but two back-to-back ACL injuries, one on each leg, I personally haven't seen a player go through that. It'll be absolutely important for Real Madrid's medical team to ease Éder Militão back into playing time, have him properly recover after matches, and it'll be important to see as well how Éder Militão adapts his playstyle and if he still has the pace that he previously had. I think we can all agree that Éder Militão's biggest attribute was that he was a very aggressive center back who pressed against the striker, but it'll be absolutely important to see if he still has the pace to play that aggressive style, or if he will have to change his play style, be a little bit more alert defensively, be a little bit more mindful, and play that pessimistic center back role as Ancelotti called it with Nacho. Now, I previously made a video on the potential starting 11 for the Club World Cup, and in that video, I used Fran Garcia as a starting left back. I'll be quite honest, I absolutely expected Alvaro Carreras to sign for the club going into the Club World Cup. You know, Real Madrid seemed absolutely ambitious in the transfer market, but it looks like Benfica has put up some roadblocks, and we'll actually see Alvaro Carreras as well in the Club World Cup, but he will be playing for Benfica, the Portuguese club. Having said that, it's going to be an absolutely crucial Club World Cup for Fran Garcia. We saw him in the first season. I don't think he convinced any of the fans that he was Real Madrid quality. He certainly didn't convince Carlo Ancelotti. However, his second season, we saw some vast improvement. He seemed a little bit more confident on the pitch, and he seemed to have that pace recovery. We still noticed the lapse in concentration on defense, players running behind his back, but he does have the pace to recover. Nonetheless, I personally think he's a great bench player, but we'll see this Club World Cup if he's capable of doing more than that and showing us the level that he showed for Rayo Vallecano 2 seasons ago. There's still no update on Dani Carvajal's injury or his potential return date. So it'll be quite obvious that Trent will be a starter from the first match. We'll see how he can adapt to this Real Madrid squad. Do you think Xabi Alonso will integrate the two new signings, Dean Huijsen and Trent Alexander-Arnold, to the starting lineup right away? What player are you excited to see in the Club World Cup this summer?